The room?
if it's possible. Okay.
Slowly, people are coming in.
Okay, cool. I remember the room. That's at the end of the. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you were going to see me. But yeah, it's easier with all the slideshows we had after that. And so we have one computer. And what else? Hop, hop. Non, non, premier, t'inquiète, c'est autre chose. Thomas, if you want to see the room, there, it's also streamed on Fablab Festival website. So
Oh, great.
you can also see the room if you want.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna take that stream and share it with people around the world.
On va commencer. Donc,
Hey Thomas.
Dean! How are you?
I think everybody's listen to you, can hear you there.
So I shouldn't say your secrets.
So Thomas, I will say a few words about just in French, you know, just probably some stuff you're going to say. We show the Pito Dido graph, and then just to introduce in French, and then I give you the word, okay?
Super.
Ça va? Merci. Ok. Bon bah, je propose qu'on commence, hein, et commence à l'heure, comme ça on aura du temps pour discuter. Entrée. Bon, on va y aller. Allez. Donc je me présente, je m'appelle Ewen Chardronnet, je suis attendez, je trouve une fenêtre. Non, c'est pas ça. Bon, c'est pas grave. Je suis donc du média Makery Magazine. Et également qui s'occupe également d'un Medialab. Je vais peut-être vous montrer quand même le site makery.info. Vous pouvez suivre un live tweet sur le site de Makery, le live du festival, et on lance également un Medialab. Et dans ce contexte de Medialab, on organise des tables rondes, des conférences, des résidences aussi dans les Fablab, des projets de data visualisation, et on a adhéré à l'association FabCity Grand Paris, qui est ici représentée par Minh Man Nguyen de WoMa, dont le stand est juste à côté, qui est président de l'association. On va vous en parler plus tard. Donc je vais juste, vous voyez ces graphiques, ah oui, je ne vous ai pas montré, là je suis en recopie. Est-ce que ça marche? Non, ça ne marche pas. Je vais me calmer. Hop. C'est pas grave. Donc, quand on parle de FabCity, il faut savoir que les objectifs principaux donc, du projet FabCity, c'est viser la relocalisation de 50% de la production à un horizon qui est donné comme ça à 2050, mais donc c'est pour se donner un objectif général qui donc pense à relocaliser la production en ville. Ce qui passe évidemment par le réseau des Fablab. On a un modèle, l'idée étant de sortir de modèle ici représenté, donc en anglais PITO, Producting the Trash Out, donc où beaucoup d'importations de choses fabriquées très loin et beaucoup de déchets qui sortent de la ville, pour rentrer ensuite dans un modèle où il y a une économie circulaire locale et ce sont plutôt les données qui sont échangées et les modèles repris de loin sont fabriqués localement. Donc ça c'est un des modèles importants dans le projet. Voilà, avec une notion aussi qui est importante, je trouve, c'est la question de la distance. On voit que à 1 kilomètre, donc au niveau local, on parle de la production domestique, hein, l'impression 3D, etc. Le Fablab intervient dans cette sorte de rayon de 1 kilomètre où vous avez un endroit partagé de coopération pour utiliser des outils. Et puis ensuite, on rentre à l'échelle de la ville, à environ 10 km, où il y a la question aussi de l'économie circulaire locale. Puis après, encore la longue distance, où là, on parle des transports de très longue distance, et les transports des données, les transports physiques, et qu'est-ce que ça, par exemple, ça pourrait impliquer les questions on pourrait parler de transport équitable. Alors, il y a un périmètre d'intervention, c'est un graphe qui a été réalisé par l'équipe de FabCity. Périmètre d'intervention de FabCity, on voit que donc il y a un axe vertical, donc avec disons le côté fermé des machines, et le côté ouvert, fermé étant évidemment des raisons de propriété industrielle, etc. Donc du côté de l'industrie classique ou du côté de la recherche et développement dans les laboratoires d'entreprise. Et puis il y a le côté ouvert où on est dans la fabrication distribuée, c'est le domaine aussi où interviennent les Fab Labs, donc ou les labs ouverts de prototypage. Et puis, du côté de l'industrie, donc l'axe horizontal, la production en masse centralisée, la production locale à petite échelle. On voit que ça concerne du côté fermé les côtés des artisans et des producteurs locaux. Voilà, l'artisanat et le numérique ont beaucoup à discuter, et la recherche et développement, le prototypage. Donc on voit en jaune, on va dire le périmètre d'intervention de FabCity, qui donc concerne aussi bien l'artisanat, les productions locales, la fabrication distribuée, les laboratoires ouverts, mais également une partie de la question de l'industrie 4.0. Voilà, on pourrait y revenir après dans la discussion. Peut-être dernière image. Donc, périmètre d'intervention d'une FabCity, si on veut relocaliser la production, ça va concerner aussi bien, donc évidemment, la fabrication de biens matériels, hein, lieux, outils, matériaux, produits, process immobiliers, les énergies renouvelables, le stockage des énergies, les smart grid, microgrid, la question de l'architecture et de l'urbanisme, donc le bâtiment, l'urbanisme citoyen, l'urbanisme participatif, la question des économies locales, les questions de labels, par exemple Made in Toulouse, des choses comme ça, la question de la distribution locale, et puis les monnaies éventuellement, et puis la question évidemment des flux, alors l'économie circulaire, la gestion logistique urbaine, locale et territoriale, et puis la circulation des données. Et puis bien sûr, si on parle de relocalisation de la production, c'est aussi la production alimentaire, l'agriculture, donc l'agriculture urbaine, l'agriculture cellulaire, on parle là de recherche en biologie alimentaire, les circuits courts et les circuits de transformation, ça peut être aussi le compostage, etc. Donc voilà à peu près un petit tour très rapide pour commencer. Je vais passer la parole à Tomas Diez, qui est donc... Tomas est un peu à l'origine, avec le Fablab de Barcelone, du projet FabCity. Tomas est là, je vais y arriver, on va faire passer la page. Il est avec nous en Skype depuis Barcelone. Ça va, Tomas?
Hi, good afternoon.
We're listening to you. I say 2 words about you. So Tomas est à Barcelone, Fablab Barcelona. Il a l'initiative l'initiative FabCity Global Initiative, donc il y a maintenant 10 à 15 villes. Il va nous raconter tout ça et je lui laisse parler. Tomas, we are listening to you.
Thank you very much, and all the team in the Fablab Festival. It's really nice to see how this is becoming like a reference event in Europe for the world of Fab Labs and of course the maker movement. I wish I could be there. As I said to Ewan and the team, I'm now involved in delivering a project next week. We have a big deadline, in a urban renovation project for La Rambla that we are doing together with an international team, and that means an intense weekend of working. But I think that, you know, from what I said in my very poor my poor French, and what I understood from the slides, a lot of about FabCity has been well explained. I just want to, you know, to make some probably some points and some updates about where we are today and where we think we could go. You know, as you know, the FabCity is kind of a movement, but still a project. It's something also that is still in definition that emerged from the Fablab network. No, the difference from Fablabs and FabCity is that Fablabs are usually claimed that it started as an accident, and FabCity is not. FabCity is not an accident. FabCity has a clear intention and a clear vision on trying to reclaim the capabilities of the cities to be able to produce everything that they consume, and especially you know, putting the citizens and everyone in the center of the question about these topics. No, we live in a world in which we are committing the natural resources and also the well-being of people, not only in our cities but or in all the places that the supply chains and the products that we consume come from. And the FabCity is trying to tackle those issues, not with a clear plan and with a clear, you know, something that to follow, but actually to creating the conditions for things to happen and to enable people that is willing to make a difference at different scales in different cities in the world. It's also a public-private collaboration. I can say that one of the struggles that we have been having is trying to understand that what we are trying to create is not something that we want it to become public, but also we don't want it to be completely private. But it should be a space in which the public and the private collaborates and work. It should be the FabCity should be also a mental space in which citizens, researchers, businessmen, you know, come together. And we think that this happens only with inclusion. You know, beyond ideologies, beyond you know, any fundamental thoughts and kind of strict rules structure. What we want to do is to create spaces of inclusion to transform the way we live in cities. I was last night in Barcelona with the guys from Fablab Porto. I can pre-announce that the Porto is going to be part of a FabCity, and they're going to officially announce it in not in Fab 13 but also in Fab 14, where we're going to have the FabCity Summit in Paris in collaboration, in connection with the Fablab conference in Toulouse. So during Fab 13 in Chile this summer, we're going to have between 5 and 10 cities joining the FabCity initiative, the global movement, and that will be mainly Latin American cities. So we are moving forward into create the conditions to collaborate globally, and part of that has been the recent European project submitted to the Circular Economy Call last March, which we're hoping to be announced the results this month in order to go to a second stage, and hopefully we will get 7 million euro to develop the idea of a FabCity Prototypes in different cities in the world at the same time as a large-scale demonstrator of what we could do. Finally, I can say that in Barcelona we are also working with as you know, there is a new council. We recently announced together the Maker District Plan, which is the idea of a FabCity Prototypes as part of a public-private partnership inside the Pobleno area where our Fablab is located. We are working on a new lab to grow, especially for Fablab Barcelona, to be more accessible for people in the city scale. And we are trying to create the conditions for having not only, you know, this kind of, I would say, either private or public initiatives, but start to mix more, as I said, what is the FabCity as a common space, no? And finally, to close, I want to invite you to the Maker Faire Barcelona, which is happening from the 16th to the 18th of June. And we're doing it in collaboration with Sonar, with Soco, which is a makerspace run by my dear friend Mariona, and that's gonna be the same days of summer, so you can come and make and party, and you are all invited to basically to come and discuss with us some of the important topics that we are working together. So this is a global movement. I'm happy that all these amazing people is going to be discussing about FabCity in their different cities. I sent a big hug to all the family because I saw all these friends getting together there, and I'm really jealous that I'm not there with you guys. And enjoy. See you soon.
Thank you, Tomas. Merci.
I'm going to disconnect, and yeah, it's been very lovely to share a few words with you. See you soon.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on. Okay, I keep you around, hein? Oh, c'est moi qui... Bon, anyway. Maintenant, je vais peut-être passer la parole. Je vous invite peut-être après... Oui, Toulouse. I think you can do it in... peut-être, est-ce que anglais ou français, qu'est-ce que vous préférez? Is this English, mostly English speakers? A lot of English speakers in the room? How many? Raise hands. So maybe we do it English. Huh? Okay.
Oui, ça marche.
Quoi?
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Caroline Lapellerie, and I am in charge in Toulouse Métropole of different project development, and particularly in smart city approach. So I will explain what we do in order to be a smart city, but more overall a fab city. We have the ambition, of course, to go in the sense of environmental preoccupations, of course, to be sure that citizens can be involved in the approach, but we also want to be sure that all SMEs and startups could be involved in the approach. So I will try to explain you in few figures and few images what we try to do in Toulouse. So first, the focus is to be sure that citizens could be involved. They are at the heart of the approach that we develop. So what we call a smart city or fab city is what we want to do with a fab city. It's to have a local productions that could be developed by citizens, but also by SMEs, by startup, but also by Fablabs and also by social innovation incubator. For example, you have the exposition of Imagination Fertile here, our première brique, and you will discover different associations and startups that develop local production in matter of in food or the different solutions such as citizen farm and so on. So what the first point was for us to be sure that citizens could be involved in the approach. So we have launched a démarche in 2015, and we tried to consult Toulousains in order to do what they wanted to do in Toulouse. So we have developed something like a Laboratoire des Usages, a kind of uses lab, where we organize focus groups with different kind of people, panels. So young, senior, silver economy, and of course a mix of enterprise and so on. And we discuss with them and put on the table different focus, like how could we develop interactivity with citizens in matter of e-services, in matter of data platform and so on. How to develop your implication in order to, as you know, in Europe, you can't anymore, it's a good thing, put nitrates in order to make disappear vegetables you see on the road. You can't anymore now put pollutants and so on the road. So we wanted them to propose solutions in order to face different problematics we have in matter of environment. So we have launched different solutions to consult them, such as e-consultation, seminars, and we launched last year a call for citizen idea to help them to propose 3 ideas, and the engagement of Toulouse Métropole is to make sure to be sure that we will realize the propositions they have done for this year in less than 10 months. So we have a different solution, and of course we want to be in a confrontation with their proposition. So we have a forum each year in order to exchange with them and SMEs. So next, I will go further. What we understand of what people wanted in Toulouse, maybe you won't be able to see the colors, but we have in yellow the first focus they have. More you have stars, and more they have this preoccupation. So in yellow you have all about mobility, and in order to have a fluid mobility in Toulouse. And we have lots of big projects in matter of mobility, such as an aerotram, a third metro line. And this was what they told us by e-consultation. We want really have a more efficient mobility in Toulouse. This is one of our first focus. Second preoccupation of citizens is in red, and you see about energy, but you see maybe less 4 stars about a cleaner city. This is also a preoccupation, so we take it into account also in our blueprint. And third preoccupation, very important for them, is to be in interaction with the administration and to be sure that their propositions, their solutions, their ideas could be taken into account in the blueprint. So we take all this and we go on different ways to consult them. So for example, we launched last year a nacelle. It's the name of this kind of, I can't explain, you see what I mean. And you could visit the nacelle because we have one on the stand just near. So we experiment this solution in order to be sure that we will have different kind of people, because you see when you want to discuss with people, with citizens, we work, so in the day you can't have all the panel of population of citizens to exchange. So this solution between à la pause déjeuner, between okay, you understand, between during lunch, you can consult people everywhere, anywhere, in any place. So for 4 months, 23 places, we organized 20 events, and in this nacelle, we met 1 Toulousain on 50. You see, 1 sur 15. Okay, and of course the engagement is also. We go further. Sorry, one more. We want to be sure, of course, to give them the results of what they propose. And on the other hand, we also want to involve SMEs, startup, and so on. So the solution, the way in which we work, is really to involve startup clusters, SMEs, institutions, key actors such as social innovation incubator. Architecte, of course, on this event, but not only. We have launched the call for citizens with Architecte. And this is the first point. In which way we work, we have, yes, one more. We have launched what we call a Small Business Act, which is not exactly, of course, a Small Business Act as we can find in the United States, but it's similar. In fact, it's a way in which, and in Europe, this is really a way in which we try to work when we are an administration. As you know, we have a public code, to organize calls, but we have also different way to work and to be sure that SMEs could respond to public procurement. So we have launched this new public Small Business Act in 2015, and before 2 years of development, you see key figures. This is a big program of investments, and we have today 46% of the global investment program that is not dedicated to, but that has been signed for SMEs. So that's also a way to be sure that we work with local productions and with local SMEs. It's clear? Yeah? Another way in which we work is to launch experimentation with startup, and this is a way we work with different kind of startup in matter of energy, mobility, but also e-services. And for less than 2 years, we have yet enable startup to test their solution with citizens, but also for us to test their solution. For example, we have enabled, of course, the NACL to try this consultation solution, but also we have, you see, Kidimiam. It's an application dedicated to food scholar, la cantine. How do you say? You see, with the place where children eat every day. And we have developed this solution with a startup that enable parents to know the menu each day and before the day and the day before, but also to have to follow the allergens and so on, and to be in push and interaction with school. We have also developed a citizen farm with citizen farms. It's the name of the startup that enable in aquaponie. You have a solution to produce tomatoes, to produce vegetables with fishes. And this is you can see an example in Artilect near just near. Okay, so this is the way in which we work with all the ecosystem, and of course this is a way in which we want to introduce innovation in different public programs, and we have big public programs, not particularly in matter of mobility. And the challenge is, of course, to be sure that these big programs will introduce all innovation in matter of energy, connectivity, and so on. And this year, we will launch also in June as an autonomous and connected vehicle. You see it, his name is EZ10, and you will see it in Pibrac and also in Toulouse, Allée Jules Guesde, during a year. Two times 6 months, just to use this new mobility and to test it with citizens, and so on and so on. So we go further, and just I wanted you to invite you to go to the site, and also why not to propose your solution online, and we could why not test it on Toulouse. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you.
Merci. Merci Caroline Pellefigue. Peut-être vous pouvez prendre le relais et puis vous présenter parce que
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bertrand Serp. I'm a regional counselor in charge of higher education and research. So I'm today representing President Carole Delga, president from the region Occitanie, new region, which is the fusion of those old regions, Midi-Pyrénées and Languedoc-Roussillon. So I'm very happy to be here. First of all, because I love this festival. I've been here quite a few times. Being myself, try to be maker, or try to find time to be a maker also. And it's very exciting because it's growing every year, and we are very, very excited at the region to support it and to encourage everything that's being done in that area of Fablab, and one very important thing to us, of course, is this label that we obtained in last summer to be a Fab region. So what would it be, a Fab region, and why the region would be interesting as an institution in that kind of stuff? Because we are speaking today of very small localization of activity, and of course this is a very important ambition. And we try actually to support all the activity in our region that can have some very local activity, but also to build networks in between all these local experiments. And we are very focused on many aspects which are in relation with the theme of today. Let me state a few of them which are very connected. First one, President Delga put us an objective. It's to be that our region, Occitania, would be the first European region to be with positive energy in 2050. And this is, as you know, a very big challenge, because in order to do that, of course, you need to rethink many things we are doing every day. We have to build new solutions. We have to change our methods of production. We have to change also many ways of thinking themselves. And this means it's a very transversal objective, and we have to support every aspect that will join in order to go to this objective. And we organize our action with some very specific support programs, like calls. Let me give a few examples. Of course, the first I would like to mention is the call Fab Region, which is devoted to help the development of new Fab Labs. We have an objective, which is that at the moment we will have this Fab 14 festival in July 2018. We want to have 35 Fab Labs labeled by the region in all the region. So that means, of course, that in some places like Toulouse, of course, which had the first Fab Lab labeled by the MIT. It was opened in 2009, if I remember well. Yeah. Of course, you have some places where you have a strong activity, but also we want to develop it in smaller cities, in the countryside, so that this, maker state of mind is not only that of very urban people, but also it can spread in all the region. So 35 Fab Labs in all the region means really that we can go in various places. And for that, of course, we provide money, and we have this year 3 million euros to help to develop these Fab Labs. Of course, we also give some support to some sorry, I didn't prepare it in English, but in French, so sometimes I have to think of some words.
That's no problem.
We provide some support, like this festival and other similar events. Now we also have less direct actions. Like we have an action about circular economy. We launched some programs about circular economy in order to have to support some projects about eco-conception of products, about the industrial ecology and territorial ecology, which is led by the economic actors of a territory, so that they can make some economies on resources and to enhance the productivity. We also have action in that call. It is also about project to have more responsible consuming, And of course, it's obviously extremely important, the fight against the waste of culinary waste, food waste, sorry. And so that's another call that we are doing. We also have calls about digital aspects, with very strong support to digital economy and to startups and to SMEs which engage in that direction. Within that, we have also, of course, additive fabrication, additive building. How do you 3D building? Yeah. That is also something we are working out, working with a very strong connection with the Institute of Technological Research, Saint-Exupéry, which is the Institute of Technological Research for Aeronautics and Space. So this is, of course, connected to the big industry of this very important economic sector for our region, in order to have some enhancements for the processes for the fabrication of even our planes and all the pieces. It has, as you know, a very big impact on the weight of the planes, and then it has a very big impact of the fuel consuming of these planes. And the last thing I would like to mention about the calls is tiers-lieux. Co-working spaces. Co-working spaces. We have a call.
Third spaces.
Third spaces, I don't know. Third spaces, so that we can develop many places like that, so that the diversity of actors can meet. And I would like to end with that. I'm very convinced that all those ideas will only work if we can really break the barriers that exist. And these barriers are of various types. You have geographical barriers. You have institutional barriers. You also have some knowledge barriers, because we are, in a way, we have been educated thinking in a certain way, and like reproducing things more than creating things. So if we really want to succeed, or for all that, those objectives, we have to consider all that very globally. And this means that it cannot be the different type of actors, like makers, like academics, like city or city officers or regional officers, etc., being split and only meeting once a time, maybe once a month or whatever. It won't be enough. It won't be enough, because if we really want to make big increases, we have to work very constantly together, so that the ideas can really be spread about, and everybody in his or her everyday action can integrate the innovation of the other kind of users. And that's, I think, a real challenge, because what I can see is that there have been some big developments, quite big investments, but maybe the next step is really that all these people can really be in the same place very constantly, and this is still not the case, and we want to work on that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I will now invite Karen van der Moolen from Waag Society in Amsterdam. Waag Society is probably one of the oldest, biggest Fablab in Europe, and she's been involved in the FabCity Amsterdam, and they hosted last year the FabCity Summit, so she can reflect on this experience. Where is it? Where is it? Okay. Okay.
Thank you very much. I think this story is a little bit continuing on what the previous speaker said. It's a story about social engineering for a larger part. I'll also touch upon what we did indeed with the FabCity campus last year as a concrete example. But I think social engineering is a very important part of reaching our FabCity vision. With a very personal touch. I have actually personally recently been wondering a lot how come as we grow into adulthood, we lose sight of what it means to be creative, to explore, to fall, to get back on your feet, and without any feel of shame, and just with that one goal in mind. I have a 3-year-old son, Yuka, and he's been experiencing his first bike runs. And when he fell, he just gets back on his feet. He falls, he tries, and again and again and again. And with the same ease, he's learning his native language, just by doing it. He's stretching his limits of grammar, trying out new words, mixing up words. So he's calling my breast a toothbrush, which in Dutch actually are two quite similar words, borsten and borstel. And he's inventing new words on the go. So it's actually an important ongoing personal question of mine, how can we stay in touch with that maker mindset? And how that maker mindset that we're all born with. A maker mindset was also referred to, it's actually an attitude. It's a modus of doing what comes naturally. It's to first do, then think, and reflect on it. Not to be scared of failure, not to be limited by group pressure or rational judgment. It's to be inspired by the things that are not finished yet, that open up to alternative ideas and solutions that you did not think of before. So I believe we first need this mindset, or we need this mindset to move towards the Fab Cities. And not only from all of us here, because as also mentioned before, it's about the cities, it's about the neighborhood communities and the citizens and everybody inside of these cities. So FabCity in Amsterdam became tangible a year ago during a FabCity summit and a first FabCity campus. Between April 11th and June 26th, we had a temporary, freely accessible campus that was built at the head of Amsterdam's Java Island, which is at the Eastern Harbor area. It was conceived as a district, as a green self-sustaining city. It comprised over 50 pavilions, installations and prototypes. And just to briefly touch upon it, I didn't check the, oh, it doesn't. I was hoping to click the link, but I do really want to invite you to check out the link. It's europebypeople.nl. And you can find all the different pavilions, installations, and prototypes there. So we worked on materials, on renewed electricity, on housing, all these different aspects of what you need to become a Fab City. So the campus area was open for 2.5 months. But what happened after that opened opportunities for us for actually a longer-term Fab City strategy. And that's all about scale. So in order to get people to move, you need to stay close to their homes. So neighborhoods will become more and more important as a unit of scale for us. And in Amsterdam, the public library has that opportunity. It has 26 dependences throughout the city, and thus by nature is neighborhood oriented. At the same time, the public library needs to reinvent itself. With information becoming ubiquitous, libraries in general need to rethink their role in society. So there's initiatives and examples popping up across Europe and beyond, and more libraries engage in what we call knowledge construction, and through the act of making rather than knowledge transfer through books and other classical means. So the aim of libraries in this sense is to provide access to knowledge of modern technology, to open hardware, open software, the practice of maker practice for the larger public, for the young, the old, everybody, but through practice. And through their neighborhood focus, they can engage with local communities, with local entrepreneurs, with schools, etc. Though a big challenge lies in the fact that a traditional librarian is not too familiar with digital fabrication or knowledge construction or maker pedagogy as such. It's actually similar to many of the current teaching in formal education. They need to adapt to a new role for the library. So that's what we work on. We believe the way to go about that is to provide them with a soft landing, where we work with teachers and really dive into the deep end with them through our teacher maker camps. With the librarians, we ease them into it. So we teach them the basics of iterative working, of creative technology, of digital fabrication. Though quickly as possible, we build their confidence by inviting children into the advanced training days, actually having them become a mentor of the kids as soon as possible. So over the past 6 months, we've been training over 75, I must say, librarians. And within 4 years' time, there will be 10 library makerspaces in the city already. And over the next 10 years, we hope to have all 26 of them connected. All of this is made possible, by the way, by the Amsterdam city government. Now, for Fablab Amsterdam, as a note in all these activities, we have the privilege to be part of a little bit larger organization called Waag Society. The mission of Waag Society is to democratize technology. And as a Fablab, we have the privilege to work in that context because it includes healthcare programs, internet, future internet, heritage, biotech, and education. So this means we actually, as a Fablab, have a complete educational team to work with us on this FabCity topic. But with this movement and with all these makerspaces popping up in the city, and our own contributions to the development of the network in the city are always changing. As I said, in 4 years' time, there will be at least 10 library locations opened up. And the first actually already has opened. And simultaneously, last year we invited Makersity, an initiative from London, which is actually a collaborative working space focusing much more on entrepreneurs and giving them working space, and on the side the opportunity to rapid prototype their new products and ideas. And then the library standing for Access for All. Amsterdam Fablab will focus more and more on the state of the art in terms of circular economy, in terms of FabCity. So what does the future hold for FabCity Amsterdam? Is that as a Fablab, we will, as I said, focus more on the state of the art, researching and advancing technology, the materials and methods that support circular economy, that support FabCity initiative. We have in our facilities two more focused labs on biotech and textiles, with which, or through which, we actually dive into specific maker industries that all are part of this FabCity. Through hopefully funded EU project called Makerhoods, we'll work on neighborhood scale, but also we're hoping to develop more sustainable reciprocal relations between makers, citizens, through a maker coin or maker wallet, an instrument for us for people to exchange knowledge into skills, machines, and practice in some kind of a currency unit that allows you to exchange those kinds of values. And of course, we keep on training the future citizens, students, and educators, librarians, but also help them develop programs locally with their neighborhood communities, and have them become the ambassadors of the FabCity vision. I think that's the only way forward, is we build as much a network and have people feel that this FabCity is something that means something to them. So that's about it. I will have to leave a little bit before this panel ends, so if you have any questions, email me. There's also a colleague of mine around, I don't see her, Cecilia, also approach her. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, vous êtes prêts ou... Okay. Donc, now it's FabCity Grand Paris. You have a slide?
Yeah.
C'est lequel?
Le premier. Okay, thank you everyone for inviting us to talk. My name is Min, and I'm the president of the association FabCity Paris. Oops, it's going.
On va revenir.
Tu peux l'arrêter ou pas?
Tu fais une pause, la pause.
Hein?
C'est bon là, je pense. C'est close, pas besoin. Voilà, main.
Ok.
Sinon, je le fais pour toi.
No, je vais faire. Pas de souci. Okay. As earlier Tomas mentioned, it's Fablabs happened by accident, and you can see many accidents on this map, and it also reflects that France is the second nation of Fablabs with 147, and just right behind US with 153, and actually Italia is about 133. I just checked this morning, so it's quite amazing, like the activity of Fab Labs in Europe, and especially in France and Italy. And Spain is 44. Sorry, I will go fast. Just so the FabCity concept, I think you got it. So I won't try to just repeat what they said, and try to get some time for discussion. Just this map is the fab.city. It's the website of FabCity. It shows the evolution of the movement. Right now we have 16 cities, but also region and a small country, the Bhutan, for example, which are part of the movement, and like the objective of to relocalize the production, etc., etc. So that's an example of Poblenou, what Barcelona tried to experiment as a prototype of FabCity. So they actually block kind of 1 square kilometers to actually prototype a FabCity. And this is just what Karen said about the FabCity Summit in Amsterdam. So the association is pretty young. We actually did our assembly last year in November, and we have a great success of 30 members. The 30 members, what is interesting is they are actually not only Fab Labs. It's about like a third are makerspace and hackerspace. And we have also a biohacking space with La Paillage, for example, but also a Medialab with Makery, like Minh said. And this is this diversity, which is very interesting, is how do you create new type of collaboration, not only about just fabricating something, but also like growing something with the urban fab, or rethink about like the waste production, and how we will deal with this waste production. So what is important is also we have we had like a main milestone, which is Fab 14, like everybody say. Well, I think we repeat a lot this, and I will go a bit more in details in this presentation about Fab 14. So we had like a great support from the city council last year in Shenzhen, and also from Toulouse. And that was a very great moment. So, like we say, yes, the one we were yesterday. So I will go back in actually the process of what we did, and but more in detail. So the format we proposed was actually to be entirely in France, and to be in Toulouse, the first step, and then also in Paris and France. So the idea was to distribute, to have like the Fab conference in Toulouse, then to distribute a Fab festival, and then to be in Paris for the FabCity Summit. You know Toulouse because you're here, so you know the great city it is, and the potentiality. And so there will be like from the 17th to the 19th of July, the conference and workshop will be around here with organized by architecte, and the 20th of July will be the symposium. And then the idea is about France to distribute, like Aurélien said. The idea is to create a link between actually Fab Labs during these next coming years, like international Fab Labs and local Fab Labs, in order to create like already some project together, and that will be during the weekend implement in a kind of hackathon type. So that's the idea, is to use the bus. That's an idea for the moment, and covoiturage, and there will be like through, we hope, some partners who will help us to actually drive everyone from Toulouse and on the road to Paris in the labs in between. That would be a very great moment to do, actually. Great thing to do. And then we will be in Paris for the FabCity Summit. This is what we will. So that's the ambition, is actually to be gathering a lot of hackerspace, makerspace, and the community, because Paris has a lot of space actually for that. And the idea is to be in the Parc de la Villette, at the de la Villette, with 1 day of symposium and 1 day of workshop, much more actually working together for thinking how we will do the FabCity for the next decades. That's the idea. So the idea also is to do the FabCity campus, to host it, like Karen did, but with 3 scales. And 1 scale will be local, of course, Paris and its Métropole and the Great Paris, but also national, with all the people from the Fab Labs that came, and during the weekend what they developed in the Fab Lab, and then came in Paris to gather their things. But also with another association which called Europan, who actually did a competition about like la ville productive in French, so the Fab City in English, and that would be interesting to have their result, and they will engage all the city who were actually be part of this competition to do this. So, and also the Fab City in Paris, so there will be Toulouse, of course, and the coming city Brest, that Anne will and Mathieu will represent, and to actually be in Paris a moment for exchanging the Fab City concept and the project we can do. And of course, the international network that we saw, from Shenzhen to Detroit to Barcelona. And that's it. Thank you. Okay. And
thank you. Donc, ça s'appelle comment? Celui-là?
Oui.
Bon, je peux double-cliquer. C'est ça?
Yep.
So now I welcome Julie Colin from FabCity Grand Paris as well. She's going to present the work that she's been doing in the city, with the city of Paris, and I'll just let you talk.
Hello. Thank you. Yeah, I'm here. Ça déroule. So, I'm one of the person who work on the study, which name is FabCity Prototype. The authors are just here. We've made that. We gave that to the municipality of Paris on the end of April on a demand on how to, their demand was to apply the concept of FabCity, which is developed more for now in Barcelona, but in other cities, to apply it to the city of Paris and maybe to the bigger territory of the metropole of Grand Paris. And so with Benjamin Tinck, which is the co-founder of WeShare, Baptiste Bernier, which is a co-founder of Volume, Fablab in Paris, and Marie-Hélène Ferron, which has worked as a consultant for numeric at La Fonderie, which is an organism which work with for the region, and myself, I am a urbanist and part of the Civic-Wise association, which work on urbanism, participative urbanism. We've made this study to transform this concept of FabCity for the territory of Paris. So for Paris, the territory of Paris and its region, something very specific to this territory is that it's a so dense city that everything you build or everything you occupy in this tissue is cost a lot for the owner, and so industry activities or even craft activities it's very hard for them to occupy this territory. It's too expensive. Another specificity of this territory is that it's a very complex tissue, a very administratively complex organism, which means that there is Paris, the city, there is Grand Paris, the métropole, and there is Île-de-France, the region, and those three organisms have a lot of. It's difficult for them to work together, and above all, when you speak about FabCity, you speak about infrastructure, agriculture, and which are activities or which are things which has to be thinked at the scale of at least the region, but the study, the demand was given by the city of Paris. So our first goal was to address this issue of if a FabCity has to be ambitions in this territory, it has to be at the large scale and not at just the scale of the city. Okay. The other specificities of this tissue is they have a very we have a very good industrial and craft history, still for some in activities like vehicles or textile and fashion, and there are strong domain for the territories which still could be pushed. And the last specificity of this territory is that the city and the mayor are very voluntarist. They really they have a big ambition to make politics about environment, participation. The city of Paris has developed a lot of program to support that, like Végétalisons Paris or Paris Culture, where they have a lot of program. So with that study, we try to apply on 5 territories this concept of FabCity and try to, by analysis this existence, try to give or made some proposition to build these prototypes. So the 5 territories are those you can see there. I'm going to on each of them. So this is our the most important, well, the territory where we think that everything can begin. It's in the northeast of Paris, because there is a huge red of actors on the theme of urban agriculture, co-working, Fablab, places of reusing, recycling, and it's also a place where infrastructure are very interesting in to think the FabCity, like the canal or the red of train going through going until Saint-Lazare, which is passing by. But there is also those 4 other territories which are always close to the border of the city and almost crossing the peripheric, because those are places where there is more place, less expensive in a way, and where the innovative actors are more present. So there is here the east. For this one, for example, is it's very specific of an old tissue of crafts in Paris, the 11th district, and where there is still a lot of workshops and craft places, like for example, the Haute Couture, which is a co-working place for textile, is placed in this workshop places because it needs this space of it needs space as a workshop needed. So I'm passing by on the others, but this one too is very interesting because it's next to Station F, which will be the biggest startup place or incubator in the world, which are going to open this year. And this is close to Usine.io, which also is a big actor in hardware prototyping. And so this connection of actor with the Seine and the other sites which are prepared for transformation, like the places for Réinventer Paris or Réinventer la Seine, which are program made by the city of Paris. All this ecosystem are very propice, are very good to prepare a prototype of FabCity. Right. So those are the pros and cons of on each axis we've worked to build our recommendation, and because at the end this study is made for giving a proposition to the city to build those prototypes, and we have proposed for them, I would say, 3 big axes of recommendation, which could be one on the industry 4.0, because there's this still this brick missing in the production circle, and which could be realized in Paris, because we have this industrial basis and places in the city where it can be built. The second one will be about woods and how biggest Fablab at another scale could be think in the 19th district to address all there's the circle of matière, the circle of material of wood, and the third one will be the pedagogic axe, because we propose to, for example, put in a scholar in the program of a school a brick of fabrication for fabrication or construction, and this is and I'm finishing because for me and for us, but during this study, the main interest of applying FabCity in a tissue like Paris is to change the relation between production and consumption, which is to say that it's more about explaining, showing how we produce to change the way we consume.
Merci, thank you, Julie. Anne, c'est à ton tour. And then we will have Julien Paris, and we'll open to questions. And maybe, Julien, you can also organize the questions with me. D'abord, Anne. Hop. Alors, c'est lequel ton tour?
Toulouse.
Just Toulouse.
Avec les flèches?
Ouais.
Bonjour. Si ça vous dérange pas, moi je vais continuer en français.
Je peux traduire si tu veux.
On peut faire comme ça, ouais.
Chacun un micro.
Voilà.
I will translate.
Je commence en breton, tu termines en anglais.
Voilà. Breton first and then English, okay?
So, bonjour. Ben, voilà. Il me reste 5 minutes pour vous présenter le projet de Brest, FabCity Brest. Donc, pour recontextualiser, Brest...
Je pense que... So
212 000 habitants.
So Anne will present the FabCity Brest project.
Pour,
200 000 habitants,
voilà.
200,000 inhabitants.
Pour 220 000 km. Donc en gros, depuis 2015, c'est 8 communes qui se sont réunies pour créer ce qu'on appelle Brest Métropole.
8 towns to produce Brest metropolis.
Voilà. Donc, alors pourquoi une FabCity à Brest
Why a Brest FabCity?
Parce que justement son échelle et sa densité de population fait un contexte qui permet finalement de se lancer dans une dynamique et dans une démarche comme celle-ci. Parce qu'il y a
scale and density allows us to go into that dynamics. Also many labs in the city.
Voilà, donc c'est un contexte pertinent qui permet de bien étudier des problématiques avec la capacité d'avoir un point de vue omniscient et en même temps hyper pragmatique de terrain. Parce qu'avec du coup une échelle réduite et qui permet des interactions rapides entre les personnes et des liens forts avec la mairie.
It's going fast. So omniscient? No, you can have theoretically you can also have a good view on the territory and also very practical. And this medium scale allows to connect very fast to the different actors in the city. So yeah, from local actors to university as a.
Ok. Alors du point de vue de la ville, aller vers cette démarche, c'était faire rentrer du coup ce projet dans sa stratégie numérique qui s'appelle Brest Horizon Digital.
So Brest City has a general strategy called Horizon Digital.
Et notamment à travers le projet Brest Ville collaborative et connectée. Donc,
collaborative and connected city.
Ce dernier projet, il a pour ambition d'impliquer le plus largement possible l'ensemble des acteurs de la transition numérique du territoire. Donc ça forcément inclut les Fablab, plus d'autres associations, plus du coup la démarche FabCity et toute l'équipe qui encadre ce projet.
So the city wants to enhance and involve more people in a digital transition in different levels of all the general activity.
Donc la mairie, Brest Métropole, se place comme un soutien privilégié de cette démarche, dans une logique de faire avec et d'aider à faire. Donc, comme je disais, on est à des échelles assez restreintes. Donc Ronan Pichon, qui est en charge du coup qui est vice-président au numérique et à l'économie sociale et solidaire, est fortement impliqué, mais pas du tout dans la gouvernance du projet.
Vice-Présidente on digital economy and social and solidarity economy are very involved in this department of the city.
Voilà, plus largement, soutenir la démarche FabCity, comme disait Ronan, c'était plutôt accompagner des dynamiques qui sont déjà instaurées sur le terrain depuis plusieurs années, avec cette volonté d'inclusion du citoyen et la mise en place de différents outils tels que les papiers Fab, les GIX, le déploiement d'une agriculture rurale, urbaine, tout ce que ça sous-entend d'infrastructures et d'animation d'acteurs de territoire derrière.
So to support and sustain all the actors in the city, not only to be above it, but to support the local actors in different fields, including urban agriculture. And to have it, j'ai tout oublié. I forgot those
différents outils sur le territoire.
And the inclusion, inclusion being an important part too.
Ouais.
And,
donc aujourd'hui, le principe de la candidature de Brest en tant que FabCity a été validé par la mairie. Donc,
so the Brest as candidate for FabCity has been validated by the town.
Voilà, pour cet été.
For this summer.
Donc là, le bilan, c'est que les moyens spécifiques pour que la FabCity se mette en place sont encore à trouver, mais ils sont dans la continuité des moyens déjà bien effectifs. Et au-delà de ça, c'est une vraie volonté de créer une communauté active derrière tout ça. Et au fur et à mesure que du coup ces décisions se prennent, on voit que le territoire il avance, il se transforme et il tend vers une meilleure inclusion du citoyen car une meilleure connaissance et une meilleure appropriation des outils.
The way of functioning and organizing is still to determine, but there's a great will to really move in this direction of FabCity with all the city and the actors.
Ouais. Le deuxième point intéressant de ce projet, c'est le fait d'y aller conjointement avec Plymouth, une ville en Angleterre.
Another part, very important part, is to be partner with Plymouth City in Cornwall, South UK.
Donc au-delà du lien historique qui existe entre Plymouth et Brest, qui sont quand même des villes jumelées depuis 1963.
Two cities are sister cities in 1963. They are on both sides of the channel, of course.
Cette volonté de démarche commune, elle est née de la rencontre entre du coup, le Fablab universitaire de l'université, qui s'appelle UBO Open Factory, et le Fablab universitaire de Plymouth, qui s'appelle Plymouth College of Art.
Initiative of this partnership is being done by, on one side, the University of Brest Open Factory, in Plymouth, the Plymouth College of Art, and the Fablab of the Plymouth College of Art.
La rencontre de ces deux groupes d'acteurs et ces deux dynamiques a fait émerger le fait que finalement les deux échelles de villes similaires et leur contexte qui se ressemblent, c'est un peu des villes en miroir de chaque côté de la mer, permettaient d'établir qu'il y avait des problématiques qui étaient communes sur lesquelles on pouvait travailler ensemble en faisant un échange de bonnes pratiques par rapport à ce à quoi on pouvait être confronté et comment on le résolvait, comment on tendait vers du coup les objectifs d'une FabCity. Et en même temps, comme chaque ville a son propre contexte, il y avait aussi des problématiques sur lesquelles on ne pouvait pas répondre pour Plymouth et auxquelles Plymouth ne pourra pas répondre pour nous, mais qui nous permettent quand même de continuer à échanger sur les pratiques, à co-construire ensemble. Et donc voilà, donc aujourd'hui...
And so for being on both sides of the channel, between Brittany and Cornwall, they realize they can exchange, they have very common, let's say, territorial similarities, with, of course, ports and cities near this entrance of the channel, and also they can, of course, exchange good practices on their both sides and share those experiences. So they could really share a lot.
Donc aujourd'hui, où on en est, c'est que les deux mairies ont validé le fait d'aller rejoindre le réseau international cet été, d'y aller ensemble. Et donc là, on est dans une phase où on continue à formaliser un petit peu notre démarche, en même temps que Plymouth formalise la sienne, pour ensuite joindre les deux. En même temps, on échange quand même au fur et à mesure des étapes avec Plymouth, donc la formalisation commune est déjà bien engagée.
So this formal partnership is still to engage, but we have to go fast, so I'm not going to translate anymore, I think.
Eh ben, parfait. Du coup, comment ça se passe après concrètement sur le terrain pour la mise en place à Brest? Voilà, là j'ai volontairement pas montré de personnes, mais plutôt les types de structures qui sont parties actives de la démarche, qui se sont réunies le temps d'un hackathon qu'on appelle le Science Hack Day. Donc c'était en novembre 2016, et sur le thème de 48 heures pour améliorer la ville. Et donc ce hackathon, il a permis de créer une communauté, de les faire travailler ensemble sur un temps donné, chose qui n'est pas facile tout le temps, de se donner un temps privilégié pour ça. Donc voilà, donc là je vais vous présenter des petites photos de ce qui s'est passé. Donc le hackathon, il a permis de monter une méthodologie, d'identifier des besoins qui sont communs un petit peu à toutes les démarches, enfin depuis le début du festival, j'entends, de voir qu'est-ce qu'on avait nous comme acquis, de poser notre contexte, voilà, d'établir un petit peu les problématiques, mettre en place les méthodos, dans le but d'aller vers les enjeux. Et donc voilà, je vous passe les photos très rapidement. Donc ça, c'est les groupes et la restitution de toute l'équipe. Donc ça, c'est un point de vue. Donc finalement, ce qui a émergé de ce Science Hack Day, qui a été mis en place à l'issue de ça, donc en même temps qu'on construisait avec la mairie pour faire valider le projet auprès du maire, il y a une méthodologie qui a été bien identifiée, qui passe par des phases d'identification, projet. Donc ensuite, qui dit mise en application d'un projet dit prototypage à différentes échelles, que ce soit juste prototypage papier, prototypage objet. Et donc pour cela, on a facilement identifié un petit peu les indicateurs et les outils qui nous manquaient, sur lesquels on a travaillé depuis. Donc par exemple, voilà, il y a des Fablab qui étaient présents, il y avait un réseau, mais par exemple, il nous manquait un outil de constitution d'équipe pour faire avancer les projets. Il nous manquait un outil de visualisation de la résilience des projets pour un meilleur positionnement et une meilleure intégration. Il nous manquait un outil de cartographie pour voir un petit peu qui étaient les différents acteurs du territoire qui en présence et comment est-ce qu'on matérialisait les liens, comment est-ce que par exemple les déchets de l'un deviennent la ressource de l'autre, etc. Et voilà, et tout ça dans le but de créer des boucles itératives qui répondent aux objectifs d'une FabCity. Donc ça, c'est par exemple un schéma de ce qu'on a appelé l'OVARB, donc c'est l'outil de visualisation de la résilience dans la ville de Brest. Donc l'idée, c'était que quand on a un projet, de pouvoir être capable de venir, une fois que voilà, le porteur l'a vraiment bien identifié et rédigé un petit peu, de venir passer son projet au travers ce qu'on a appelé, nous, un comité ad hoc. Donc c'est une sorte de comité de personnes avec un algorithme aussi qui passe un peu au crible le projet et tous les domaines sur lesquels ce projet a une incidence. Et voilà, dans le but que ce soit quelque chose d'humain et en même temps un outil. Et après, l'idée, c'était d'avoir une sorte d'interface passive qui matérialise à un instant T, donc le début du projet, voilà, comment le projet se positionne en termes de résilience, d'efficacité pour une ville autonome à 75%. Ouais. Voilà, ça c'est l'outil de constitution d'équipe qui est co-construit en ce moment avec Barcelone et une équipe de Brest, voilà, qui permet de dire vous êtes porteur de projet, vous avez besoin de telles compétences et vous avez telles compétences et voilà, de matérialiser les étapes de construction du projet. Voilà, et tout ça on le met en application à travers des projets concrets sur le terrain. Donc on part plutôt de mini-actions qui constituent une grande action plutôt que de partir d'un prototype de quartier comme d'autres le font. Donc voilà, vous avez Sarah et Jean-Philippe qui travaillent sur la revalorisation du plastique et du bois. Donc leur projet est une manière de démontrer par un exemple très concret sur le terrain, voilà, comment les interactions peuvent se faire entre différents acteurs. Et donc c'est comme ça qu'au fur et à mesure d'un projet étudiant qu'on a encadré, on a réussi à identifier voilà, quels étaient les différents acteurs qu'on pouvait aller chercher pour participer à leur projet. Je pourrais en parler plus largement une fois qu'on aura terminé la présentation, parce qu'évidemment, on est en retard. Voilà, donc des photos. Et voilà ce qu'il nous reste à faire. Donc des tables rondes, enfin, c'est compliqué de parler, t'as pas le truc. Donc là on met en place des tables rondes toutes les 2 semaines pour activer la communauté, on rédige les lettres d'engagement des mairies de Brest et Plymouth, on organise un workshop commun avec Plymouth à fin mai, puis un atelier entre nous pour animer la communauté en juin sur Brest. Dans le but d'officialiser au mois d'août, de poursuivre le projet, la démarche. Après, on se donne 1 an pour continuer à faire à faire évoluer tous ces projets, à continuer à formaliser, à communiquer dessus, dans le but d'arriver juillet 2018 à une présentation de la démarche FabCity brestoise et Plymouth au Forum des usages collaboratifs à Brest. Donc c'est un forum qui se passe à Brest, mais qui est régional, pour continuer à formaliser le projet et la démarche dans le but d'un déploiement, pour arriver à l'objectif final fixé par les FabCity sur 40 ans. Voilà.
Merci. Bon, on est en retard, donc on ne va pas avoir le temps de faire des questions et réponses, mais par contre, donc, il y avait Julien Paris de plateforme CA Nantes et Makery qui a travaillé sur le FabCity Dashboard, donc sur la question des indicateurs, avec qui je lui propose de faire la conclusion. Et puis je suis désolé, mais les questions-réponses, il y a un autre panel qui doit commencer dans pas longtemps.
So I have the very hard task to conclude in less than 2 minutes. And my presentation was about, I don't have any slides, and it's kind of weird because I wanted to talk to you about data visualization, something very graphic. And in less than 1 minute now, it's going to be very, very difficult. So I know we've lost some people in the assistance because of the heat. So I wanted to address the most important topic now. It's the heat. The heat is kind of here, and what you want to do in that kind of situation. You want to take a bath, take a shower, go to the beach, and just take a minute with me just to say, you go to the beach, you go to swim. If you have the choice, what do you prefer? The shower, the going in a pool, or going to the beach in Caribbean islands? Let's say you are in the Caribbean islands. You go swimming for a couple of meters, and you arrive in the middle of a reef, a coral reef, with fishes, with different kind of algae and different kind of environment. And I wanted to speak to you about that because there is a word coming every now and then about digital, about Fab Labs, and etc. is the term ecosystem. And the term ecosystem is a whole. It's a lot of little actors, some stuff very mobile, some kind of very big actors, some very little, some are more kind of the infrastructure. And working on data about FabCity, about a project like FabCity dashboard is you have that in front of you. You have a lot of little actors, you have a lot of big actors, you have a lot of very mobile actors, you have some actors you don't even see. And the thing is, with the FabCity project, the FabCity Grand Paris, this was repeated and repeated. It's not only about Fab Labs. It's Fab Labs, it's some co-working spaces, it's some little actors, it's some personal initiatives. And so you have to take everything into account to speak about a project like FabCity, because it's not about what kind of actor, it's about the interaction between the whole of them. And so when you speak about data, you have to get data from this whole diversity. And why I think it's important to take into account, because when you go to see, I don't know, some administration, collectivity, the mayor, you have the direction of social services, you have the direction of digital innovation, you have the economic growth in the collectivity. And when you arrive with a project like FabCity, you have to consider the whole, what that kind of project is doing about social, economics, innovation, economic growth also. And so you have to explain that. And to explain that, you have at least to show on what kind of sector you are advancing, and showing that at the same time, if you do something about economic growth, it's important because it has a repercussion about what you do in terms of social links in an area. So I wanted to just to share you this kind of experience, because working on data, working on the visualization of how is progressing a project like FabCity has to take into account all of that at the same time for the main actors of the project, and also to be able to address the collectivities less used to see or to see that kind of project, and to explain that if you do something about the little actors, it has an impact on the big one, and so on, so on, and so on. And so to take, I had a story at the very beginning. The name of the story was Maya and Nemo, Maya the bee, and Nemo the fish. And I think those kind of little particles, little actors in an environment, in an ecosystem, are very important. They say if you kill the bees, the whole ecosystem dies in a few years. They say that. I don't know if it's true, but I think it's a good metaphor. And in the case of a project like FabCity, the little bee and the big animals of the French Tech are important as much one than another. And so the bees are pollinizing, and it could be the little association, local association, and you have to be able to measure this action at the micro level, and you have also to be able to measure the action of the big mastodons, like in Nantes, our animal is an elephant to represent the French Tech. So between the bee and the elephant, we have to take into account all the animals and vegetables of the ecosystem. So that's for me.
Thank you, Julien, and sorry for getting late and not be able to take more time to do your presentation. We really need to close, so no questions. If you want to continue, you can continue outside. I have an announcement. There is a talk at 5:45 in the Cube about urban reindustrialization with a professor from University of Sheffield and Plymouth. It's a new book released in English, and so the talk is 45 minutes keynote conference in the Cube, and Nicola also an announcement to do. And sorry for the next panel, we are a bit late. Huh?
Yeah, we will have François de la Rosière will do a presentation at 5 p.m. And so he's doing big machine. I have a small teaser about this conference. You will see, I think yeah, if you like machine, and I think it's a very great presentation to see at 5 p.m.
La machine raconte son histoire et par son mouvement, elle fait son propre théâtre. Puisque le mouvement, c'est l'expression de la vie. On vit avec les machines en permanence, donc autant que les machines nous racontent quelque chose. Accompagner la machine, c'est créer un peu sur ce besoin de partager l'outil de production pour réaliser ses rêves, quoi. Donc quelque part, on était peut-être une sorte de Fablab à l'époque, il y a 25 ans, sans le savoir. On est vraiment une équipe. Le savoir-faire de chacun, c'est l'outil de départ. C'est-à-dire l'aventure est avant tout humaine, elle est technique nécessairement, mais avant tout, c'est l'aventure humaine qui fait l'histoire. Arrêter de produire du jetable, mais pouvoir recycler, modifier, réparer, transformer les machines qu'on fabrique demain. C'est fondamental. Moi j'aime bien cette idée que l'invention passe par simplement l'envie de faire, de se réunir et l'envie d'inventer et de créer à partir de passions qui sont intimes et personnelles.